Everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Tips and Tricks, Funding Tips and Tricks with Kiki Mezi. Today's Friday, so we're keeping it nice and short. And yes, I have a guest today. Welcome to our guest, Mpumi Maisela, who is a SMME and youth development specialist. She has supported thousands of SMMEs and sits on several committees in the country, funding committees in the country. So she's going to give us some nice tips on how to get funded. So today we're going back into the business plan, right? So what we are tackling today is basically risk, because what a lot of SMMEs do, they do a SWOT analysis, but that's not enough to cover risk, especially from a funding perspective. You know, it covers a lot of your operations, but not your funding perspective. So Mpumi, how do we deal with the risk aspect of the business plan?
So you've said it right. From you as a business, when you writing up a business plan that you are needing funding for, you need to also address the question around the risk relating to funding. So if a funder is looking into the business and looking to support the business, what are they exposing themselves to in terms of funding you as a business? So you will need to articulate that and also go further and tell them that these are the risks you are exposing yourself in funding you, and this is how these risks could be mitigated.
I see. Okay, so the SMMEs, you know, we hear a lot of the times guys say the biggest risk of funding is non-payment. You know, and guys come and they startups, they don't have trading history, they don't have letters of intent, they don't have signed contracts. How then are you going to address this big risk of non-payments?
Well, if you don't have the market who you are serving, you don't have the business, so then you can't access the funding. So to address that, you need to have defined a very clear market for yourself that is solid, that is secured, that you know you're going to be serving this market and they need your product. That way you are able to secure funding for the business. If you are having non-payment issues because of the delayed payment, that's a different discussion that you can have with the funder. But if you're having delayed payments because of a non-contract, then we definitely have to go back to the drawing board around how we funded you in the first place.
Sure. So you are saying access to market and research around your market and knowing your market well is the biggest. That is important for an SMME to do, hey?
Yeah.
So that's where we leave it, and that gives us the topic for our next episode: access to market. How do we deal with it? How do you get it done? What steps do you take to get it done? So happy Friday, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed and learned from the episode.